Hello, Squirrel Tribe. It is Thursday. So there's a lot going on. But what I want to talk about, I don't know how many people care about what I want to talk about, but I care very much about it. Some of you may know about the 22-year-old woman who was found murdered on the UGA, University of Georgia campus last week. I want to talk about that. First, I want to touch on a couple other things. And then I really want to kind of just talk about the fact that this is being, in my opinion, swept under the rug by the media focusing on other things. And I am part of that media. I'm not even going to lie, because I have talked about Truckers for Trump and everything that's going on in New York City. I've talked about the weather. I've talked about food recalls. I've talked about all kinds of random stuff in the last week, and I have not focused on what happened to this woman. And the problem with that is a lot of people don't want to talk about the single individual that has something happen to them. They want to talk about the broader scheme of things, because not many people are going to care enough about one single person when something that affects way more people, they care more about, right? Like, I don't even know how to phrase this, y'all. My mind is tired. My brain is tired. My eyes are tired. My body's tired. The gym kicked my butt this morning. But the problem is that we as a society, in my opinion, we're being pushed to be just less emotional about things that matter. And I don't know if that comes across wrong or how that sounds to you guys. If you've been here before for Squirrel Tribe, you know nothing I say is meant to piss anybody off or hurt anybody's feelings or ruffle feathers or whatever words you want to put out there. It's just my thoughts that are flowing through my head and out my mouth, and sometimes they get filtered. Some 99.9% of the time they don't. But it feels like with everything that goes on in our world that we're being, we'll use the word programmed, shit, why not? Being programmed to be less emotional as a people and more reactionary as a people. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I feel like we're not supposed to feel emotions. Like, you're not supposed to be sad that this girl was murdered by an illegal immigrant, but you're supposed to be outraged at how many illegal immigrants are crossing the border. You personally aren't supposed to feel for an individual, but you're supposed to have this group emotion about things that are affecting other people that aren't you. I don't know if that comes across the right way. Again, so you've got people who are, screaming, yay, patriots from the top of the roofs, about Truckers for Trump, which is great. But then on the flip side, you don't really have people realizing that that's great, Truckers for Trump and everything that was happening there or possibly happening there or not happening there, because we're still kind of sort of in the dark on what actually happened versus what didn't, if you saw yesterday's video. But on the flip side, nobody was saying, hey, what about the innocent people who live in the city who had nothing to do with anything, who, if the truckers don't deliver, they're not going to be able to eat? What about the people who need medicine? What about the babies who need formula? What about, those kind of things? And I feel like we are being taught, programmed is still a better word, to focus here, to tunnel focus on this one thing and have a strong collective emotion about this one thing, instead of individually looking at all these different things and having feelings and thoughts and emotions on all these individual different things. So I said it yesterday that the end of February and the beginning of March, today is the last day of February, it is the 29th, a happy leap year, and tomorrow is March 1st, that this week seems to just be this whole just basket of shit is what it feels like. You had tornadoes touching down. I think like 11 tornadoes touched down in the Chicago area and surrounding area on Tuesday. And then you have the wildfires that are now over 1 million acres in Texas. And side note, I don't know where the hell a panhandle is. The Florida panhandle where I live, I've never claimed to be the brightest crayon in the box or the sharpest tool in the shed, whatever little idiom you want to go with there. But I literally thought that the panhandle was like against the water. Turns out the panhandle is whatever is shaped like something you can pick up like a pan. Who the hell came up with that? So Texas panhandle is this little square thing on the very top left of Texas. And I'm like, but that's not a hand. Like, you have to hold it like this. Why is that called the panhandle? Y'all have been so confused. Don't worry about me though. It's fine. So I was wrong on where the panhandle is, but you have 1 million acres that have gone up, poof, in flames in the panhandle, right? Texas panhandle. And it happens to be where a lot of cattle are. So that's a huge deal. You have the solar eclipse, the partial, I don't know how they're titling this or phrasing this, but the solar eclipse is supposed to happen on April 8th. April 8th? That sounds right. That crosses certain parts of the United States. And technically, some people say that by the time it starts and finishes, it makes an X across the United States. And other people are like, well, if you look at it the other way, it makes a cross. It depends on how you look at things, right? But I had somebody DM me on Instagram with something from her city that had this like list of how to prepare for the eclipse, and it seemed really like severe. It was like, make sure that you've gone out and you've stocked up and you're prepared and you've run the errands that you need to run and everything else. Like, it made it sound like Armageddon was at the door, but it's because this eclipse is scheduled to last for 3 to 4 hours from beginning to the very end. It's like a 3 to 4 hour long thing, and it can be, something that's scary for a lot of people. But I feel like, again, media is going to go out there and try to convince you that if you try to go out during the eclipse, you're going to die somehow. Like, you're going to have a car accident or whatever else. And if you don't go out and stock up now, like, bum rush the grocery store and get everything, that you're going to, oh no, things are going to go awful. It's 4 hours, my dudes. Like, right? It makes my eye kind of want to twitch. But anyway, so there's all this talk about everything else, and I feel like it's pulling attention away from what is really tearing this country apart right now, and that's what's happening at the southern border. It's the illegal immigration situation, and that's all anybody talked about for a month or two. I would say December, January. That's all anybody talked about, and into the beginning of February, and then suddenly it's like media, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, news stations, Facebook, everybody. It was like this collective flip of a switch where they were like, don't talk about immigration anymore. Talk about everything else. On YouTube, if you were still talking about immigration, I saw people's views just starting to plummet because it feels like they don't want us focusing on that anymore. They want us to look away because they're not doing anything to stop what's going on. And at the same time that they don't want us talking about immigration anymore because they're not pushing it the way they were, you have an illegal immigrant from Venezuela who happens to be in Athens in Georgia illegally, decide to murder randomly a 22-year-old nursing student who was out for a morning jog. No rhyme, no reason, no cause, no nothing, just murders her. So here's the problem. A lot of people have talked about, they're like, hey, well, I've said it myself, Athens is a sanctuary city. Now, Athens did not claim themselves to be sanctuary city. They did not put those words in there, but I need you to hear what they said. In 2019, Mr. Gertz, who happens to be the mayor in Athens, in 2019, Mr. Gertz approved a resolution. These are his words. In support of Athens' immigrant, undocumented, and Latinx community, which said that the Athens-Clarke County government commits itself to working to reverse the damage caused by white supremacy. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, y'all. For those of you who don't know, I'm married to a black man. I have a mixed child. I can understand everybody wanted to talk about race and everything else, but all that does is cause massive divide, and it keeps pushing people apart and apart and apart. Please hold. Saying that you're going to let illegal immigrants stay because of white supremacy. Are you off your fucking rocker? Like, that has nothing to do with it. Like, that has nothing to do with anything at all. That says to me that this Mr. Gertz person, his head is up his ass so far, he has no clue what is going on. I'm surprised he can breathe. And so because of the things that Athens, Clarke County in Georgia decided to implement in 2019, you now have apartments filled in Athens, in where UGA students reside, where it's close to Augusta. There's like an Augusta State campus there as well. But these are all like young people, 18 to like 26 maybe, because Athens is a college town, and you have a ton of illegal immigrants, like basically setting up camp in Athens near these colleges, near these young kids, right? And the apartment complex that the guy who murdered, her name is Laken Riley. I'm going to say her name. The other guy, we're going to call him Ibarra, because I refuse to use his full name, because pieces of shit like that should not get any kind of 15 minutes of fame for what they have done. But Laken Riley, she was a nursing student. She went to the nearby Augusta University. She was going there to get her nursing degree, and she was out for a run. And this illegal immigrant who is 26 years old, he just decided to kill her. Here's the problem. That man had been arrested numerous times. He was arrested in New York City for being on a scooter without having a license and having a child on the back. Whose child? What did he do to that child? I have questions there. He was arrested in, oh no, I knew this. Hold on. I saw where there was another thing where he was arrested. Where is it? Hold on, y'all. Work with me here. He was arrested in 2022 for illegally crossing the border, September of 2022, but he was quickly released with temporary permission to stay in the country. Why? Why? Okay. So then after that, he was the New York thing. In New York, he was pulled over for scooter without a license. So obviously he was doing something wrong to be pulled over on a scooter without a license. It's not like they just said, hey, you look like you might have a license. Let's pull you over. I mean, it's possible, but it's doubtful. And then he was also arrested in Georgia in October, just a few months ago, in connection with a shoplifting case. And then they added that officials ran Mr. Ibarra's, they called him Mr. Ibarra in this. The article that is written about the fact that this man murdered this innocent 22-year-old woman, and they're calling him Mr. Ibarra. You should, look, I know they can't say what they should call him, but Mr. Ibarra sure as shit ain't it. They said they ran his name through the state and national database at the time, but did not find any warrant for him or any other indication that he should be detained. You know the indication that he should be detained? The fact that he's motherfucking illegal. That is the indication he should be detained. And I do not care if I sound hateful. I do not care if I sound racist or whatever word people want to throw out there. The fact of the matter is, illegal immigrants are getting away with so much shit that you and I as legal citizens cannot get away with. Just so we're all fully aware. I did not intend to start this video and get pissed off, but here we are. So the fact that so he was charged in her murder last Friday, okay? His charges include murder, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, kidnapping, hindering a 911 call, and concealing the death of another. They said that he did it because he had the prime opportunity. I don't want to know if this piece of shit raped this woman. I don't want to know what happened, but at the same time, we need to know exactly what transpired. They had the, I don't think vigil's the right word. They had like a, y'all, what is it called? A campus, like, what is it called before a funeral? I told you my brain is just not braining today. I don't know if it's because it's the last day of February. I don't know if it's just because there's too much shit in my head. But they had this campus-wide thing at UGA today for Lake and Riley, and thousands of people showed up for her. That has to say something. The fact that thousands of people showed up for a girl that they don't know, to basically say that what has happened to her, one, is not okay. But not only is it not okay because she is a young woman who lost her life for no apparent reason, it's not okay because she's a young woman who would not have lost her life if our country would step the fuck up and stop letting illegal immigrants into this country. Like, it is not that difficult to stop it. There are plenty of countries in this entire world who can do it just fine, where you and I cannot get into their country at all. And here we are, the United States of America, supposed to be one of the greatest countries in the world, and we can't stop murderers from crossing our border? Please, please, please. It's just absolute bullshit in my personal opinion. There's this article that I'm not going to read this thing because it's hella long, but it is on Yahoo. I will put a link in the description. It says, look, because this happened January all the way through February. It's kind of like a timeline of what's been going on at the Eagle Pass border in Texas. Texas seized part of the U.S.-Mexico border and blocked federal border patrol agents. Here's what happened next, right? So you've got, can y'all see that? That's like not right this second current. That's a little bit older. But this is something that transpired from January all the way through February. And the whole point in this is that we are being made to feel bad as a country, as a people, when illegal immigrants drown on their way to crossing the border. That's what this whole article is about. A lot of stuff. It's about how Eagle Pass and, Governor Greg Abbott are like, we're not dealing with this shit anymore. We're not letting the federal government step in and say that we have to let these many people into our state. We're going to stop it. So they did what they had to do. It's like a 2.5 mile stopping point at the border that they were able to hold for a while. But then everything went to hell in a handbasket because, Biden. And the whole thing, you guys have got to read it for yourselves. But the Mexican officials had to retrieve the bodies of some parents and some kids because they couldn't get out across the border, so they drowned. And they want it to seem like that is our fault. That as the United States of America, because we imposed a wall there or a fence there that they could not get through, that it's our fault they drowned. Here's the thing. If they had not stepped foot in that water to begin with, they wouldn't have drowned. That is not on you. That is not on me. That is not on the people of Eagle Pass, Texas. That is not on the people anywhere across the border. That is on the people who decided that what they would rather do than stay where they are is to cross illegally into another country. Whether it is, from the Mexico border into the United States, with all the countries that are coming through. It's not just people from Mexico, numerous countries trying to cross through the Mexico border into the United States. It sucks that people have lost their lives, but they knew the risk when they decided to do what they did. It would be the same if I decided I was going to try to cross a border from one country to another, and knowing the risk. If I lost my life, that's on me. I took that risk, knowingly took that risk to break the law and to do something I should not have been doing. Anytime you do that, that is on you. You and I should not feel bad because people are losing their lives trying to cross the border. We should feel bad when our citizens are losing their lives trying to stop people from crossing the border, because that to me is what matters the most. Any life lost is awful, obviously. However, this is not what is the right word, y'all? Again, brain just not braining at all. This is not one of those times. This is not a participation trophy kind of thing. How about that? That's not the right way to phrase it, but that's not what this is. This is not a we should feel bad for everybody situation. I mean, you want to say that you're a perfect human being and that you want to do everything for everybody, but it's not feasible. It really isn't. You can feel bad that people are losing their lives trying to cross the border, but it doesn't mean you have to sit there with open arms and welcome them. That's all I got. That's all I got, y'all. I did not mean for this to go as emotionally angry and whatnot as it did. I'm sorry. That was not my intention. But since we're here, now we gotta woosah and calm it down a little bit. It bothers me. I wonder if I can pull up the thing with probably not, because again, my brain's not braining and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to put the link, like I said, vigil. It wasn't a vigil. What is it called when you have a morning? That's not it. Morning at UGA for Lake and Riley. Hold on. I'm trying to type fast and whatever. Let's see. If they have, that guy, I'm not going to show his face. He does not deserve it, whatever at all. I can't see the video. Okay, hold on. What is this? Is this it? Look at this. Look how many, I guess the honors, so this was a vigil. They did call it a vigil. Okay. So this wasn't today. This was a couple days ago, but look how many people are there for a girl that they don't know, which to me is amazing. And then hopefully, I can't even say hopefully, like hope in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster. But I would say hopefully our government will do something, but our current one will not. So these are things that I personally will be keeping in mind in November. That's me personally. Whatever else I think about, whether you're Democrat, Republican, liberal, independent, any of those things, whatever I think about Trump, whatever I think about Biden, whatever I think about whatever else, you have to step back and look at it from a perspective of who is hurting our country, who has hurt our country the most, and who has helped our country the most. And you have to step back and take all emotion out of it, which a lot of people can't do. I won't lie. There are things about Trump that as a human, I don't like. There are things about Biden as a human. There's a lot of things about Biden as a human I don't like. And then there's things about Trump I do like as a human, and things about Biden I actually do like as a human. It just kind of depends, right? You're not going to have anybody who's 1000% perfect. But the thing is, if you take a step back as a people and look at where our country is today versus where it was, and think about where it could be, that makes a very big difference in, I think, how a lot of people are going to look at things in November of this year. That's all I have to say about that. So, y'all, I love you immensely. Side note, I had some people email me. My email is in the description for those of you who have been like, I can't find your email. It's in there. You just gotta look, but it's in the description. But I've had people email me about, couple things about the butcher box. The ones who have used the link, they have emailed me to say, hey, you were right. This shit tastes good, like the chicken and the beef and stuff. So you're welcome. And then I had 2 people email me yesterday about the Hervé Lucindy that I told you about in yesterday's video, which is the organic perfumes. You're welcome again, because they are effing amazing and I'm glad I could turn you on to them. So there's that. What else was there? Oh, there's also the link in Patreon. Go ahead and go over there and sign up. It's free to be over there. And then you can also support the channel however you would like to, and there's a lot of stuff over there as well. So besides that, y'all, I'm going to go upstairs because I'm sitting in my Jeep right now. I'm going to go upstairs and make myself a hot tea and see if it'll make my brain work a little bit better, and then, you know, do a little woo-saw, maybe read a book for a minute to calm myself down because I've worked myself up into this angry little tizzy, which was not the intention. But Squirrel Tribe, I love y'all. Thank you for letting me have these conversations with you. I think we all need to have conversations, and I like it when I can just talk from, you know, the heart, the brain. Sometimes this part works. This always works. So thank you for that. I love you, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye.